59.32. Again, house account short one crude from 62.71, about 36 cents in the money there. Short two micro gold from 33.06. We were looking at 3300s for a lot of this morning. Last trade there. Payouts. We got some.
So,
Go ahead,
Andre,
Jack.
real quick, instead of news today, I sent a couple of charts to the production box. I'll let them set up real quick, but I
Mm-hmm.
got those charts I was talking about of the S&P measured in
Mm.
ounces of gold. Okay. So this is 10
Oh yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And this is how many ounces of gold it would take to buy the S&P 500. And you see the chart looks very, very different.
How many ounces of gold it would take to buy?
You know
Okay.
what the really depressing thing is?
I'm
Looking at
about to
that
go to
chart.
it.
No, I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Let's go to the next chart. This is 30 years. How many ounces of gold it would take to buy the S&P 500.
Break it down. I
Um,
can't. I don't fully understand. What are you seeing
by
here?
breaking your brain. So instead of dollars, this is basically, the S&P 500 is at 5,900 or something like that right now in the
Yeah.
SPX, right? So how
Yeah.
many ounces of gold would it take to buy that? And this is following it back. So you can see that the peak, at least in the last 30 years, of the S&P 500 relative to gold was during the dot-com bubble, and the low
Ah,
was when we started bottoming out following the Great Recession.
gotcha.
So this takes out, like, when people sometimes, I like thinking about this when people short stocks, is the longer term trend, even if we're talking about inflation and stuff in the future, is the stocks are going to go up because the dollar's worth less, right?
So, yep.
Um, we've
Yeah,
been in a
that's
pretty
the
tight
depressing
range
part.
though. That if Andrea, can we go back to that first chart of the last 10
Who's going
years?
to Gotcha.
I didn't. I would like to take it off the log scale, but I just screenshotted this, and this is what they had. My apologies. I
We're
don't like
good.
logs either. Um, but we're kind of testing that 1.6 level of ounces of gold at S&P 500. We did it in 2020 and 2016. These are some longer term trends.
So gets beneath that bad news, above it good news. Beneath that
Well, the
bad,
thing
above it good.
is just remember when you're shorting the stock market, you're not just i- it's still going to go up in the future even if things are
Yeah,
shitty,
right.
right? So you're taking a bet that's pro dollar as well if you're trying to short the market.
Gotcha.
Anyway, there's my
No, no.
soapbox.
Thanks, man. That was cool. I appreciate it. Learned something today. How about that? Step TV, always learning. God, Jack always bringing the goods. Click like, follow, and subscribe. We are a little light on the likes. We got Anne Marie, Coach Jay, Jack as well. Hey, Anne
I'll
Marie,
do it
remember
if we have
last
to.
time?
I'll do it if
What's
we
that?
have
What do you
to.
got?
We
Oh
talked
yeah.
about it in
Hey,
the agreement.
uh, speaking of man, incredible, man.
Oh my god.
Incredible. You should see. Gosh. Um, Anne Marie, remember last time you were out with
Jay.
us? Yeah.
Oh man.
Emery, remember last time you were on this, Jack was talking about how he listened to that podcast about what was that? Just about yields and inflation. That amazing podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Dude,
odd lots
It was the odd
thank,
with
lots, yeah.
yeah.
thank you. So good, man. Jack's always knows his stuff.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, everyone's still in these trades. Jay, you're still in this trade. Anne Marie, you are in a trade
Yep.
as well.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask Jay,
Okay.
so we're trying to hold above the VWAP in the ES.
hmm
What would you want to see in order to either add to the trade or potentially initiate the trade?
So in the ES, I think if you're looking to trade it right now, buying anything from 59.27 up to 59.30s is a safe trade, right? And then looking for to rotate back up to the higher end of that big ass trade that we had.
Mhm.
So I think it seems like a safe trade now. The reason I'm not trading it is just because it's in such a tight range. And
Yeah.
for my own trading, I realized that when I trade in this range, I usually get chopped up. So I'm already
Yeah,
in a
same.
somewhat of a range trade in gold. But yeah, anything
Mhm.
59.27 to 59.30 seems like a safe buy in the S&P right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, we're just dancing around this VWAP, which
Yep.
kind of stinks because the VWAP is, it's got itself a little downward slope. So we really,
Mhm. Mhm.
we really wanted to change direction.
And I'm
Checking
looking
in on
at
the Mag 7. They are down minus Google's up 3%. I heard, I don't know if this is the reason, but you see they're doing like real-time translation for video calls between English and
did see that.
Spanish, I think.
Hmm.
Pretty cool.
Really?
Wow.
People are complaining about
I
the
gotta
price.
test it out.
Yeah, let's see where they want to take this. Still selling here in
Order
the
filled.
ES. Little bit of selling in the ES. Nasdaq not convinced. The 50-50's on the tilt right now. We got EIA crude inventories at the bottom of the hour. Who was here yesterday? Who was watching that amazing session with Dr. Brett Steenbarger, Anne-Marie, and Hogue? There it is. Get that graphic up there. That was awesome stuff. I hope you guys watch it. We are going
That's
to
really good.
isolate that and put it in on the YouTube. Hogue, Anne-Marie, you were on there. Anne-Marie, you got a little emotional. Hogue, what were your thoughts? What are your favorite takeaways in that session?
Well, I think the way it opened up, Anne Marie had some really good questions out of the doctor's blog space. What is intention? What is focus? And I think he really brought the goods on that. And Anne Marie, thank you very much for bringing that in to kind of open up the segment. And this I think was probably my favorite time that we had with
Yeah.
Dr.
Same.
Steenbarger. I think the
Yeah.
questions that everybody sent in were deep, very poignant. I mean, we're all traders, we're all in this together, and we all feel a lot of the same things. And I thought it was just absolutely fantastic how we got into forgiveness and how we got into people that are used to taking losses and almost feel addicted to kind of feeling losses. It is going to be isolated. It is going to be on our YouTube channel, and I suggest that everybody watch it because Anne Marie, wonderful questions and wonderful insights. The good doctor. I mean, Dr. Steenbarger is every trading psychologist's trading psychologist. He's really
Mhm.
the pinnacle of trading psychology. He is he's a professor. He's written several books. He's worked with the top traders all over the world. I was absolutely. I mean, I don't know about you, Henry. I had chills up and down my arms several times during that session. It was so good.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
uh,
It was really
yeah,
good.
yeah, it was. It
Anne-Marie,
was. It was
why'd you get
fantastic.
emotional, if you don't mind me asking?
Of course. Of course I mind.
What? All right, moving
Just,
on. No,
just kidding.
Anne-Marie, I'm trying to
No,
sell it. I'm trying to sell the segment here. So come on, help me out here.
I've I've fallen down as a human being a lot of times, and I think I reflect on that a lot. I feel um, that I could have done better, I should have done better, and so those sorts of things stick in my mind all the time.
Mhm,
And I always immediately try to ask for forgiveness, and
mhm,
sometimes they give it to me, sometimes they don't, but that's okay. The hardest thing for me to do is forgive myself. And so
mhm,
when he started talking about that element of forgiveness, it just sort of overwhelmed me because a lot of times when we're trading and we're really through a tough patch, a lot of us feel the emotion of shame because
mhm,
we feel we should be doing better. And when we feel that shame, we feel, oh, I'm letting X down, I'm letting Y down, I'm letting me down. And that turns into this big emotional whatever, and it totally short circuits the prefrontal cortex. And so we live in shame and regret and woulda, coulda, shoulda, and our brain's not clean. And so the first place to get to is that state of, I'm going to be
Order
in the
filled.
present. The
mhm,
past is the past.
mhm,
The only thing I can do is make amends to those that I have wronged, and then forgive myself and move forward and just move forward. And so it just sort of it reminded me of my old trading journeys. It reminded me of, sometimes when I size up too big and I have to run back in there and go, holy crap, what are you thinking? And change my trades around, and all of that. It just sort of came right out of me. And I'm a crybaby anyway.
No.
So
Yeah, and we got the link to that segment. The segment replay pinned to the top of the chat. Crude selling off here. Hello, crude down 60
Inventory
cents on
must have
this
just came
5-minute
out.
candle. Yep,
that's a
$62
beautiful
even.
trade.
Wow, we are still
EIA.
short. Yeah, yay. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Oh, it was the
EIA.
Mm.
Yeah, it
What did it say?
was. Question. All right,
One
actual.
point
Go ahead.
1.328 million versus an expected minus 1.1 million. So
Wow,
that'll get people short.
quite a build. Yeah.
Not even close again. Well, I've seen worse.
Sorry
Again,
it took so long
expected.
to answer that, Andre.
All good, all good. We're all watching these wires here. We got it up. Expected 1.1 million barrels drawdown. Actually, it was a surplus. Go figure.
Yeah.
Higher supply, lower the price. This Jay, what's up with this trade, man? This is the longest.
I was just thinking about cutting it. I'm sitting over here
No,
thinking
hang
this
in there.
trade sucks. Just
Okay,
because it's not moving
Soft.
anywhere. But
Jay,
this it's not invalidated yet, right? I
that's what I was
marked out
gonna
that
say.
50%, still holding. Nothing to do. It's
Yeah.
just do
You're
something.
long, we're short. Neither
A
of them are
ton of
invalidated.
Right.
Yeah. And a ton of volume just rolled in there too, because I have a volume bar that shows up on one of my other platforms. And so this could be a really sticky spot.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that the Euro's planning on turning their digital currency on in October?
Or what? What does that mean?
Order filled.
I'm sorry. What is it?
Um, the digital currency is supposed
Yeah.
to be unveiled in October.
Oh, they're doing this.
I see that look on Jack's face. All right, spill it. What do you say? What do you think?
I don't know. It'll be interesting. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
in a terrifying kind of way.
Somebody asked before if we go over to my charts real quick. They asked like show the money supply along with it. Well, I deliver. This is going back to 1987. This is the maroon line is the M2 money supply in trillions, and the right is the S&P 500. Good stuff.
More money, more
More money, more problems.
Exactly.
Where's 2020?
Yeah.
Where's 2020 on that chart? Is that the huge? Yeah, I know where 2020.
2020 is when this line goes
Order
below 6,
filled.
Yep.
Yeah.
and then you can
6
see
trillion
that
bucks.
it is this easy. You just got to listen to the Fed, man.
Go fight the Fed.
Tightening, market went down. Untightening, market went up.
Oh, incredible.
This is why you listen to Powell.
$6 trillion will do that.
The Russell kind of let us lower here. Looking for a potential short in micro Nasdaq, just risking above this 400 area. Seeing some nice
Is
selling
that
coming in.
400 popular 400
from
level there again?
Yep.
We've been hearing about that for
That's right.
days.
It's right in the middle of the opening candlestick in the Globex too.
We already took out the stops above it.
Second, that works. Yeah, 33.99, 21,399 in the orders was that 1,500 lot. It's neither here nor there at this point. 21,400 is the big magnet in the ES. What else do we have on the calendar? Of course, the calendar is always changing. President's greeting, South African president, in a little less than an hour. Market speaking, 11:15 a.m. Central Time. And you got that 20-year bond auction as well. Anything with earnings? What do we have for earnings? We had some home. Yeah, we had Target and Lowe's here in the States. Nothing really after the bell. No, Snowflake and Zoom. If you're into that kind of thing.
Super Bowl is next week, right?
Super Bowl. Oh, 800
Oh
lot
yes,
filled upside.
the 28th, I believe, is Nvidia earnings.
Ah,
1 week
okay.
from today.
I'm going to guess it turns out to be a nothing burger and option sellers end up making all the money. Not a not an
Yeah,
That may
unreasonable
be the
bet.
case, but I want to get the credit card, Andre, and see if we can host a little party for it somewhere.
a watch party in
Watch
Chicago.
party, even if it's just you and me.
This shit only works
Maybe
in
you can, I guess.
the
Hey.
Bay. That only works in the Bay,
Oh,
man. It's not even, that's it. Well, hey, yeah. We'll belly
I'm
up at a
in.
let's go
bar
to
and watch
right.
it.
Let's go to Right Liquors and make them turn on the
Stop it.
Nvidia
Never.
earnings.
Oh my god. Oh, right. There's that place.
Yep.
24/7.
No doors
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
Yep. Oh shit. 21,395. Let's trade 50-50 on the tilt. Coach Jay in this marathon of a gold trade. It's incredible.
Yeah.
This trade sucks. I mean,
It's still not invalidated. Maybe it gave me an opportunity to add off that 50%.
yeah.
And this is one where, like I was saying, the better entry was right at that 50%, and I'd be sitting in the money, or maybe have taken it off already. Uh, just gonna leave it on. Market's really not doing anything. Kind of across
Yeah,
the board. I know the house
very,
is in
very
that crude
sideways.
short, which has been a nice trade.
Yeah, beautiful trade. Absolutely
We're also,
incredible.
I mean, we're also only an hour and a half into the session, right? So
Yes.
there's going to be some opportunity coming in later. One of the best trades in the S&P, I think, yesterday from my playbook was at like 1:45 Central Time. So uh, if you can have the patience to wait, there's going to be a good setup, but
Yeah.
got to be around for it. Hogue, is there a target for this crude short?
Talking about it behind the
We're
scenes.
just talking
We'll
about it.
we'll
Uh,
when we get
I'll
JD
be
in
back
here,
I'll
we'll
be back
have
in a
them
couple
two
minutes. We'll take a look.
59.23. Saw 800 lot coming on the offer.
S&P
Yes, I don't know if you saw that got filled right away. I'm trying to find the price. Time to sales. Time to sales.
was right around 25s. Yeah, it was like a little bit of a range here. It was 59.24 up to 25.
Crude beneath $62. Last trade 61.98. Oh, yeah, it was that fireworks of maybe the EU headline. I don't know. We just saw it.
Yeah, here's another thing. What if you're somebody that
Mhm.
needs to get out of your trade on the high and you've got yourself a slick little way of letting something leak? I see moves like this all the time. Out of nowhere, people go, "Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Of course it's market manipulation, but I think a lot of people get away with that in the oil space."
You don't. You don't say. Sure do. Mm,
Yeah.
Is it a coincidence that the headlines drop at perfect technical levels? I
What
don't
was
think
that
so.
headline that dropped? Oh, what was it? Convenient
It was
timing.
the opening tick for the Iran stuff, wasn't it?
Well,
On
yeah. When we get JD in here, we'll get JD and Ho. Yeah, that was that was a doozy. Crude trading $62 right now. Yes, another VIP drop in check-in form. You know it's coming. I can't tell you when, but it will have another one today. We're checking number 21 coming at some point today. So make sure you get those in. And the draft, it will be in June. Season 3, you'll be a lunatic. Pop Squad. Emery, are you interested? I heard your name getting thrown around for perhaps being a coach, perhaps being a commissioner, if you will.
Definitely.
Commissioner, like Goodell.
What's the team name?
Roger Goodell in this thing.
The team name, I got when I did one
Oh,
of the 150K subscriber things, I said, "Hey, I want to be a coach next session. Help me out with a name." And some crazy ones came up, and one of them sort of resonated with me. And so we're going to call it the Hive.
oh, the
Nice.
hive. Wow, like the
Although
beehive. Like,
Yeah.
I like the idea of Anne Marie as commissioner and like everybody gets chosen in the VIP draft has the awkwardly like
oh, the
do
hug,
the handshake and hug thing
the
with her like
handshake and hug,
Goodell.
dap up. Yeah, yeah.
You know, put you on stage with some war hero
Oh
so that they
my
can't boo you.
gosh.
Be great.
Look, all right. We got Hogue ready. Give me a thumbs up, Hogue. And JD, if we're good to go, Andrew, give me a thumbs up because we got this house account trade we got going on from the opening call. We're going through it. Bring in JD, bring in Hogue. Let's talk about this house account trade and payouts and P&Ls.
All right.
What's up, guys? We've got about $650 in unrealized profit on these two trades combined right now. Holding both of them. Looking pretty strong so far. Hogue, how do you feel? We've been in these trades for a couple hours now.
Well, the crude trade opening range still the high of the day. We are now below the initial balance low. We looked below it. We rejected. Now we're back below it. We're just about twice the initial balance, which would in itself be a decent target. Settlement would be a decent target, but we're also now seeing potential for reacceptance of value, and I've got value high from yesterday at 6209. If we spend some time below that level, I like a target of 6160 because I've got value low at 6155, and I like to go a little bit short of that for targets. A little unnerving
Noted. You
because
did.
we're at twice the initial balance. That's a pretty decent range for the day, particularly lately in the S&Ps. It's a 96 tick range. It's a 95
Mhm.
tick range yesterday, 120 tick range the day before, 100 ticks the day before that. So we're getting close to kind of almost an average daily range on this. So I want to see
Yep.
us again stay inside or below 6209 to mark acceptance of value from yesterday, which is right about here. Now this is volume value. This is a little bit different than what I'm looking at. TPO value is that 6206 level. Settlement isn't a bad target. Twice the initial balance isn't a bad target on its own. If we're going to Lenny the trade, I don't want price to go to resolve back above the initial balance low, which is 6241.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with taking a profit on this where we are. But again, showing acceptance inside of value, we could we could get TPO value low yesterday. Again, 6155. I like 6160 for a target for a value acceptance play if it plays out. Can be a tricky trade to play out.
Very tricky. Yeah. Those average true range are a great indicator too when you're looking to hold a trade for a significant amount of time or more time than
Mm-hmm.
you normally would. So we're coming up on that
Oh,
average true range in gold right now. So how much, or I'm sorry, crude oil. Yeah. So the question then becomes, how much are we expecting to actually squeeze out of this trade right now? We're sitting right on top of settlement price,
right.
6203.
Which is, a perfectly respectable target, especially with overnight inventory that you could kind of view as longish because of that big bar to the upside at 5 o'clock last night.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are at 3.5 to 1 R right now. Okay, I kind of like what you're saying. I'm gonna work a bid to cover this trade right now.
Okay.
See if it'll give us 3.5 to 1 R.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
What's up, Jack?
You put the bid in.
As soon as I put the bid in, it rallied 10,
Yeah.
10 cents in our face.
Greedy.
See how
Now,
this
what do you
plays
think
out.
about the gold trade? Still
Let's
hanging
switch
around
back
in it.
over to gold.
We're also testing the lows of the day again in the 10-year future. There it is.
Lows in the 10 years.
Yeah. It's the first time during the day. This could be bearish for the equities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Our
last
gold
time
trade,
we were
Hogue, we
there
are
was 3
sitting.
days ago.
What was that, Emery?
For the bonds on the 10-year, 3 days ago, the low was what, 109.20 or so.
Yep.
Hogue, this gold trade, we're sitting right underneath our entry price. Again, short 33.0660. Got a couple ticks in this one right now. It's been real
Yeah.
choppy for the last.
So, to me, the biggest kind of longer time frame nuance is we did take out the high of the opening range. Our stop was far enough away, thank goodness. We established the initial balance high 33.0990, and we did leave a failed upside auction above that. If you look on a 30-minute chart, if you kind of want to go to mine for a second. So opening range right up here somewhere. We put in the initial balance low in the first 30 minutes, put in the initial balance high in the
Order
8 o'clock
filled.
bar, looked above it and rejected. That's a failed upside auction. Probabilities states that if we do leave a failed upside auction, the target is to the initial balance low. We haven't been able to do that. We've got a narrowing range, and to me, there's two nuances. That opening range close to the high of the day, we did take out the stops above it. That's not a bad thing. And the failed upside auction still has me thinking this could rotate back down to the initial balance low. We are seeing a narrowing range. Dolby would call this a Dorito, very eloquently put. We're even if we just leave the stop where it is, JD.
Order filled.
On it.
Yeah.
Our goal is to stay in these trades as long as possible. Are we out of that crude trade yet?
No, we're still in it.
Where's the
We're
bid?
sitting right on top of 3 to 1. 62.01.
203 is settlement. Just kind of hanging at the high of value from yesterday in that crude trade. Let's see what it does. What do they say, JD? If it doesn't scare you out, it'll wear you out. I feel like we're wearing out our welcome in this gold trade.